I'm Barbara Gregorich, author of Charlie Chan's Papa, Earl Derr Biggers. Before the age of mass media and social media, very few authors were known worldwide. Arthur Conan Doyle was one of the exceptions. He was known for his character Sherlock Holmes, created in the 1870s. And another exception was Earl Derr Biggers, known worldwide for his creation of the character Charlie Chan. Biggers' novels were translated into 33 different languages, and he was invited to visit many countries, such as Sweden and China, because the people loved the Chan character. Biggers did not start out as a mystery writer. He started out as a writer of what I would call romance capers. His first novel was translated also around the world. It was called The 7 Keys to Baldpate, Baldpate being an inn in the New England mountains, and closed for the winter, and 7 different groups of people have keys, and none of these groups know that the other groups will be there. So there's a lot of running back and forth through secret passageways and dark hallways. So Biggers became known as a writer of romance, but in the 1920s, he decided that he wanted to try his hand at the growing mystery market, and so he created the character of Chinese-Hawaiian police detective Charlie Chan. But Biggers had a lot to learn about the difference between writing romance and writing mysteries. I'm going to read from a section of my book. And this is, the section is from when, pardon the paper rustle there, the section is from when Biggers published the first Chan novel, The House Without a Key. Interviewed by California Life in November of 1924, Biggers talked about his forthcoming novel. He talked about Honolulu, and he talked about Aunt Minerva. Never once did he mention Charlie Chan. Simply put, he did not realize what he had created. In making the detective story American, author J.K. Vandover proposes that for Dashiell Hammett, S.S. Van Dyne, author of the Philo Vance series, and Earl Derr Biggers, all of whom wrote in the 1925 to 1930 years, entertainment was a top priority, with Biggers and Van Dyne adopting the golden age approach to the detective story. Quote, Biggers added least to the conventions, writes Vandover, though by the single decision to make the principal authority in the conventional plot of detection a Chinese man, it might be said that he altered everything, unquote. Biggers, however, did not yet know that he was altering everything. From the moment the first installment of The House Without a Key appeared in the Saturday Evening Post, the story was a huge success. Instead of the 2 newspaper heroes Biggers had originally thought of, he created John Quincy Winterslip, a young Boston stockbroker sent to retrieve his Aunt Minerva, who had gone to visit Hawaii years ago and who has refused to return to New England. When he disembarks in Honolulu, John Quincy learns that his relative, Dan Winterslip, was murdered in the middle of the night. A quarter of the way through the novel, Charlie Chan enters. He is described as fat, with ivory skin, black hair, and amber eyes. When Minerva voices her disapproval of dealing with a Chinese police detective, Chan steps closer. Humbly asking pardon to mention it, he says, I detect in your eyes a slight flame of hostility. Quench it, if you will be so kind. Friendly cooperation are essential between us. Police detective Charlie Chan recognizes prejudice and is not afraid of confronting it. Although John Quincy and his love interest constitute the romantic center of the novel, The House Without a Key, And in Biggers' eyes, the novel was a romantic mystery with John Quincy, its protagonist. Chan ended up being the focus of reader attention. In all of Biggers' novels, young men looking for love come and go, one indistinguishable from the other. But this intelligent, determined, observant Chinese-Hawaiian police detective, this was not a character who would come and go. He was memorable, and the public thirsted for more. Not only was Chan the focus of reader attention, he was also the focus of attention for other characters in the novel. These characters refer to him and defer to him and can't get him out of the picture, no matter how hard they try. Some of them do try to get Charlie off the case because he is Chinese. But his superior officer on the Honolulu police force has complete confidence in Charlie, who is self-possessed, observant, humble, and utterly reliable. Biggers gave his newly created detective a distinct manner of speech, somewhat incorrect but educated English, punctured with aphorisms and wit. Another dream goes smash against stone wall, says Charlie in one situation. And after saving John Quincy's life, Chan basks in pleasure. I have saved a life here and there, but never before one that had beginning in cultured city of Boston. Always a happy item on the golden scroll of memory. As a writer and as a mystery fan, I thoroughly enjoyed writing Charlie Chan's Papa, and I'm glad and gratified that I'm able to contribute something to the public knowledge of Earl Derr Biggers.